Thanks for joining the snapshot for today, February 26th, for the people of Dr. Martin Luther Church. You should know that many people took advantage of the Saturday night opportunity. It was good to see more folks there, especially those concerned with social distancing during this continuing COVID era. Many people also came to the Wednesday service we added at noon. I was surprised to see how responsive people were to that opportunity. So tell your friends about that worship opportunity in Lent. And you should know that the evening service is just gorgeous. We have music by Marty Haugen to begin and end the service, and a meditation on one of the 7 deadly sins. This week it will be anger, so you'll be there. And the service lasted less than a half hour, just as we promised. Well, today is the anniversary of the Buffalo Creek flood. It was one of the worst flooding disasters in United States history. In 1972, in Logan County, West Virginia, which is near the Kentucky border down in the southern part of West Virginia, the coal mine operators of the Pixton mine had discarded slag into a big pond, and it gathered up 126 million gallons of water, which came rushing down a holler, down 16 little communities that were built up against the side of the hills in southern Appalachia. A 30-foot high wall of water came rushing down and wiped out one town completely. It's just not there anymore. It destroyed the most of another town and destroyed portions of another 14 towns. It was just terrible. 125 lives were lost. Over 1,100 people were injured. 4,000 people were left homeless. The people scrambled up the hills as they heard the water coming. One famous story talks about a mother who was scrambling up the hills as this wall of water came, and she threw her baby higher up the hill than the flood level reached and saved the baby, but she drowned. Well, I took a busload of students along with a sociology professor to Amherst Dale, West Virginia, which was one of the 16 towns. That was back in the 80s, to talk with survivors of the Buffalo Creek flood. By the way, a very famous book was written by that about that flood called Everything in Its Path by Kai Erickson. Well, we met in a union hall, a United Mine Workers hall, with 6 United Mine Workers who had been affected by that flood. They all talked about their experience. One man I remember particularly, he didn't speak at all until finally, as we were ending up, he found his voice and said that he lost 7 family members in that flood: a daughter, a brother, sisters-in-law. He went to 7 funerals in 5 days. He concluded his very emotional recounting of the flood by saying, you know, people who came here on a big bus to this little holler are rich people. You go to a fancy college, and someday you're going to be the mine owners. And I want you to think of just one thing as you take your role in society and in business. He said these words: think about the other people. And then he had tears in his eyes and said it again: think about the other people. We remember that as Jesus saying, love your neighbor as yourself. And it's a good message for all of us on this anniversary of the Buffalo Creek flood in 1972. We'll conclude with this hymn verse. Father eternal, ruler of creation, spirit of life, which moved ere form was made, through the thick darkness covering every nation, light for our blindness, oh, be now our aid. Your kingdom come, O Lord, your will be done. God bless you today.